Well, the Minnesota Timberwolves are still trying to right their wrongs of the 2024-25 season before it's too late. And the Pistons are starting to surge here. That is the story. That's the setup for this one. What up, y'all? I'm yours truly, the one and only FERRO. Thank y'all so much for tapping into the platform. We do this every night of the NBA. What in the... What? In the first quarter? In the first few minutes? Caden Assar. Look, don't look now. I'm starting to enjoy the Detroit basketball. Minnesota, by the way, coming into this game, they're 17-16, which in the West.
The Charlotte team last night. They're here to play tonight.
They're barely in the play-in tournament right now. I mean, we got a lot of basketball left as Assar continues to have his own personal dunk contest. Now look at what's around Minnesota right now. They're pretty much 500. Phoenix, which has been abysmal. Portland, 12-22. Utah, 8-25. 6-29. Pelicans are the worst team in the West. Yeah. This is probably turning into a play-in situation for Minnesota. You know, I think this team was doomed to have, oh, what a three from Hardaway. Oh, Beasley, I'm sorry, they got two snipers out there that have similar shooting forms. I think this team was doomed anyway. Minnesota, coming off of all this success. I mean, I think there's a world where Anthony Edwards and I'm sure some other guys that could get the big head. We always blame Ant alone. I mean, I haven't seen great production from McDaniels this year, unless I'm missing something. Some of these guys, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Mike Conley still makes a good amount of money, and you can see he's still toting his ass on the court. You know, where the hell has Dante DiVincenzo been? Everybody keep pointing at Ant and Julius Randle as the problems and saying, look at what Karl Anthony Towns is doing in New York. Well, Karl Anthony Towns was injured a lot, okay? And he was very expensive. The reality is him signing that last contract was what got him traded. It was a lot of money to pay a guy like that. And I'm not saying it was, look, I thought Randall was better than Cat. I did. I ain't been right so far. I have not been right. But I'm not going to ignore the fact that Anthony Edwards came into this season with his mind shooting. He thought he was Steph Curry over there. I think it's because he was watching KD and Steph in that damn USA run. And I think he just said, I'm going to be them. You know, LeBron shoots a lot of threes at this point in his career. And probably barely misses in practice, by the way. But this ain't practice. This is the real deal Holyfield. And he misses a good amount of threes. And he had a hell of a game in this one. We're going to talk about it more in a second as Cade nails a three. But I was listening to Kitty Jet Smith discuss Anthony Edwards earlier, or like a couple days ago, and I thought he made some great valid points. Even if Ant's making threes, you're allowing defenses to rest. Defenses that used to stress about guarding you, now guys are fresher. Like if he makes this, if Ant is doing this, who cares? You're not winning anyway. Or maybe you are, right? Like if he's going to do this 15 times a game, you're going to lose. But if he's going to do that a few times a game, those wicked threes, that's not what makes Ant-Man Ant-Man, at least so far in his career. If he's just a jump shooter, you could double him in spots, you good. You're doing the defenses a solid, Ant-Man, by shooting so many threes. People see Steph, and I think they think, well, if I could just become somewhat what Steph has done, number one, you're not him, as great as Ant is. And I think the other part of that is, like, people sleep on how much Steph moves without the basketball to change defenses in games. But again, Ant is doing all he can to try to keep Minnesota season alive. Cade and the Pistons, I want to see where they're at out east. They're going to have a hard go of it just because there's so many competitive teams at the top of the East this year. As Randall passes out of a shot, he gets it to Ant-Man. Edwards nails a three. Detroit right now is the 9th seed out east. They'll have game over the Bulls here, which is interesting. Jay Knob is probably done for the year. I didn't even watch that game. I know he got hurt. Interesting. Randall. Oh, that's tough. We do this every night of the NBA season. Oh, Edwards loses it. Cade. It was beautiful. Detroit basketball. I'm thoroughly enjoying the Detroit brand of basketball that they're playing. All these freaking athletes. About damn time, Detroit. I speak for the fans. Shout out to Detroit. What up, though? I got some fans in Detroit. About damn time.
George, he said, let me get some of this. Shoots the pass inside.
Oh, look at that move. Isaiah Stewart. That'll work. Miranda going right back at Stewart, though. This is still a 20-point ass whooping.
Julius Randle sends it into the corner, and Alexander Walker triples. You know why he got it? 6. Marcus Sasser is found.
I do want to ask this question to be fair to some of these others for the T-Wolves. When we watch these highlights, obviously it's the NBA's YouTube channel that we're pulling this from. We're mostly seeing makes because that's all you can show in a 10-minute highlight. I do wonder, are there enough shots? Because to give Cat some credit, there were nights where Cat didn't mind only taking 10 shots, right? Like, he was a pretty selfless player oftentimes. Randall had 12 shots in this one, so not too crazy. I don't know, man. Nobody else got in double-digit shots outside of Edwards and Randall. Mike Conley, this is 0 for 4. No points, 5 assists. I don't know, man. I don't know what's the purpose of that. The T-Wolves have cut their deficit down. It was 12, now it's back to 14, and that defense ain't gonna get it done. By the way, just to I didn't want to bury the lead, but Anthony Edwards nailed 10 3-pointers in his basketball game, 10 of 15 shooting. I mean, that's great. I mean, if you're gonna do that every night, I mean, that's 66%. A career high 53 points for this young phenom, Anthony Edwards. This team is bad. I mean, oh, McDaniels throws it down. This team is as bad as he's like. This team looks like that. Some of those Kobe teams after the Shaq left, right? Like, this is what this looked like tonight. And the problem is Minnesota plays a lot of guys a lot of money to be better than that.
Cade gives it up to Tobias. Malik Beasley from the baseline, floating gun in and out, tapped in.
They won't let them back in this one. I'm sorry, Rudy G. And on Ant's big night, it's gonna come in a losing effort. I'm telling you, pull the plug on Rob Dillingham and let him go. That's what I would do. I would let him cook.
He now owns
and career high. It's a loss, though.
They'll let the clock run out and win this ball game 119 to 105. What a shootout we had tonight.
If you love flexing your sports knowledge, you should head over to the best place to play fantasy sports and win some money while you're at it. That's Underdog. For me, I love the pick'em game. It's super simple to play too. All you got to do is go to the Underdog website or app. You got to pick whether a player will have a higher or lower stat line for that specific game. You get your picks right, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money. And when you sign up, if you use your boy's promo code, which is FERRO, your deposit will get matched up to $1,000 is available to you in bonus cash. You can't beat that. Tap in with Underdog. My promo code is FERRO.